Remember when Bali was called paradise on Earth? Well, it's changing fast. The question is, has Bali lost its magic or just transformed into something new? Here's an in-depth look at why Bali isn't what it once was and why it matters if you're planning a trip in 2025. The island of the gods continues to enchant with its sunsets, rice terraces, and highly spiritual culture. Yet underlying the postcard perfection is a more difficult reality. For decades, Bali has been the ideal location for anyone seeking tranquility, adventure, and beauty. You see emerald green rice terraces gleaming in the sun, surf breaks that light gold at sunset, yoga retreats nestled in misty jungles, and friendly people greeting you with warm grins and fresh coconuts. It's the type of spot people anticipate escaping to when they want to unwind and reconnect with nature. However, the romantic image of Bali as a haven of serenity, purity, and natural landscapes is rapidly changing. Over the last 5 years, the island has seen fast tourism boom, huge development, and environmental strain. The natural beauty and rich culture that lured visitors here are now under intense pressure. While Bali remains breathtaking, the experience you'll have now may differ significantly from the one you expected when you first placed it to your bucket list. In 2024, Bali welcomed approximately 6.3 million foreign visitors, with the government expecting to reach 6.5 million by 2025. That's a staggering figure for a small island whose infrastructure, roads, waste systems, and water supply was never designed to accommodate such populations. What was the result? Traffic bottlenecks that may turn short commutes into hour-long slogs, increased pollution, and packed attractions. The pressure is obvious everywhere, from congested highways in Denpasar and Kuta to water shortages in rural areas. While tourism is Bali's economic lifeblood, its sheer volume has begun to test the island's ability to adapt. Tourism has brought both prosperity and significant challenges. The southern shore has undergone remarkable transformations, particularly at Canggu, Seminyak, and Kuta. What were once tranquil surf communities and fishing villages are now overrun with luxury villas, boutique cafes, beach clubs, and never-ending building. Local inhabitants frequently express dissatisfaction that their traditional way of life is being displaced by commerce and rising property values. There are significant environmental problems. Bali's trash infrastructure struggles to handle the plastic, sewage, and building debris produced by millions of tourists. Rivers and beaches can gather debris, especially after severe rains. Hotels and resorts also use a lot of water to fill pools and maintain landscaping, which depletes water resources. Land that was once utilized for rice production is being turned into villas and resorts, destroying the island's agricultural legacy. Then there is the cultural toll. Sacred shrines are sometimes overrun with visitors taking photographs. Rituals that were formerly reserved for locals are now staged as tourist attractions. For many Balinese, the commercialization of their spirituality is troubling. Tourism's economic dominance has created benefits, but it has also resulted in significant social and cultural alterations that are difficult to undo. In response, Bali's government has moved to enact new restrictions to maintain order and promote sustainable tourism. In 2024, the island implemented a tourist levy of approximately $10 per visitor to fund environmental remediation and infrastructural improvements. Authorities are also tightening down on foreign tourists who abuse their visas, disregard local norms, or act inappropriately at sacred locations. Several high-profile deportations have conveyed a clear message. Tourists are welcome, but rudeness is not. This endeavor represents a broader shift in Bali's tourist management strategy, with a focus on quality rather than quantity. If you last visited Bali 10 years ago, the changes may surprise you. The once quiet towns of Ubud and Canggu today feel like bustling mini-cities. The streets are lined with fashionable cafes, digital nomad co-working spaces, and boutique hotels. Scooters crowd the small streets, honking as they weave between taxis and delivery trucks. It's active, undoubtedly, but hardly the tranquil, tropical paradise that many first-time tourists assume. As one traveler wrote online, it felt like a separate island traffic everywhere, scams and overcrowded beaches. We've had enough. Bali hasn't lost its allure entirely, but in the busiest sections, it's transformed into a different kind of destination, vibrant, busy, and occasionally overpowering. What was previously considered a untouched paradise has become a booming global hub. The infrastructure problems are evident. A travel from Denpasar to Ubud should take an hour, but can easily take 2 or more at peak times. Waste collection frequently falls behind consumption, and some beaches build waste piles, especially after storms. These aren't unique to Bali, but the sheer quantity of visitors in comparison to the island's size exacerbates the issues. Another issue to consider is the scarcity of fresh water. Resorts and villas consume massive amounts of water for pools and landscaping, often at the expense of local farmers. It's an ironic twist. The island's tourism development is endangering the very landscapes, the emerald rice terraces that made it renowned. With the inflow of high-end tourists, prices in some places have risen. A smoothie bowl in Canggu might cost almost as much as one in Los Angeles. Villas that once cost $50 per night are now selling for $200 or more. While tourism generates cash, not all of it stays in local hands. Large overseas investors frequently own the largest resorts and restaurants, leaving smaller local businesses struggling to compete. As a result, many tourists are seeking authentic Bali experiences away from the main tourist routes. What is the good news? That authenticity still exists. You just have to look a little harder to discover it. Despite these issues, Bali remains an outstanding destination. Its natural beauty is unmistakable, with volcanoes piercing the air, streams falling through tropical woods, and coastlines that still offer breathtaking sunsets. Balinese people continue to embody warmth and friendliness, graciously welcome visitors into their culture. Bali's spirituality, art, and tradition continue to thrive beneath the surface. If you venture outside the mainstream, you'll come across communities where daily offerings to the gods are still made, artisans carving wood or weaving baskets, and farmers managing rice fields in the same way their forefathers used to. In these spots, Bali's heart is still beating strongly. Furthermore, the island's growth provides an opportunity for introspection. Visiting Bali today is more than simply a vacation. It's an opportunity to see how tourism shapes a destination and how people can contribute to responsible change. In many ways, yes and no. The island retains everything that made it famous: beauty, spirituality, and adventure. However, it also serves as a reflection of the difficulties of global tourism. The version of Bali you get depends on the decisions you make. Stick to overdeveloped areas, and you may be annoyed by the crowds and marketing. Explore deeper, move gently, and connect authentically to discover a side of Bali that feels eternal. It's easy to criticize Bali's makeover, but realize that change is unavoidable. The island's resiliency stems from its people's ability to adapt while maintaining their traditions. Bali's challenge and hope lies in striking a balance between progress and preservation. Subscribe and explore the world with a new perspective, one destination at a time.